big enough now. We'll fit into the nail header. Drive it down and then make your floor fast and then knock the nail out. Well, good morning. Here we are in Hookstown, Pennsylvania at the J.L. Porter Blacksmith Shop. My name is Bob Rupert and we're going to explore nail making this morning. We're now inside the J.L. Porter Blacksmith Shop, a traditional blacksmith shop here in Hookstown, Pennsylvania. We've got a coal fire going, and I have a friend here that's going to help me today, is Phil Hewitt. And we're going to explore making the tools to make a nail. So that's what we're going to do first. I've got some of the specific things we're going to use on the first heat is the chisel, a hammer, and the stock that I'm going to bring out is a piece of truck spring. Where's our... It's a piece of truck spring that I've started to mark a couple of marks in. What we're going to do is we're going to cut this section here off, and we're going to make a bend in this section. Pretty tenacious there, huh? Okay, about there. Hold it. Hold it. Okay, got a little bit of a divot. Take it back out. And you can see the small divot needs to be a little bit deeper than that, and the 90-degree bend, and then the hole here for the attachment to a die later on. We won't use it in this application, but right now this is what we're looking for, is that divot in there, which is going to help us take the parent header before it's been punched to make that round up in here. You can see that this is a little bit shallow at this point, but we'll deepen that on the next heat. Hit. Hit. One more time. I'll flatten the piece down. And we're going to mark the center with the center punch as close to the center as we can. Okay. That mark there, when we take the header and drive it in, will mark the center of the header. Now that we have the parent stock hot, we're going to place it on top of the depression and try to drive that down in. And I'm going to use Phil Hewitt here to help me. Once I get this started, you can see a little bit of the depressions, the protrusion from the depression is there starting in this. That'll index us at this point. Right. Hold it, hold it. All right. See if you can, the raised portion of the header is completed, and we're going to drive a tapered punch in from the back to reduce the thickness of the metal so that we can pierce through and create the square hole. Okay, we're going to go from the back. I need to thin the nail header a little bit more. It's a little too thick. Then we're going to flip it over. We're going to use a square punch and drive a square hole through the top section. Okay, you can take it. They can see the hole through it now. Okay, and we've got a tapered hole here. There's a little bit of rag in the hole from driving that through, so we'll let that cool a little wee bit and knock that out, and then we'll refine that square hole for the nail set. Okay, now you can see that there's a nice square hole here that's relieved from the back from the tapered punch, and this fits in there. It's still not quite as good as I'd like it, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to hammer the top of this a slight amount to make this more flat. Then we'll re-drift it one more time, and then it should be completed other than hardening it. This is a size nail that, that I like to make. It's a smaller nail than most. It's a little harder to actually get out of the most hardies because it's so fine that you sometimes tend to bend them over. But they're more useful. A square nail, something else to note about that is a square nail has about 4 times the holding power of a round nail that we have today. So you can see that will go down in there. The hole is a little bit small for this specific nail, so I probably should open that up some more. We'll open up just a little bit more. Okay, there's the nail header completed, other than hardening it. It's not been hardened. It's got a hole in it, a square hole, a little smaller than 1/4 inch. And this will make a little bit bigger nail than the first header we had. You can actually see the difference in the size hole. You can see there is somewhat of a progression. This is a little bigger than this one. You can see that there's a mass on the end. This has already started to be tapered. I'm going to take that mass and make a point. And if it's too long, you can go next to your hot cut, your hardy hole, and actually use that as the edge of the anvil. And I'm going to come back and mark where the head starts. You can see we've got a taper. You've got a little bit of a step right here, and that will be where the head will be. And I'll cut off above that somewhere right about here, leaving about that much material for the head. Now you can see that this will fit in here right real nicely now, and you can twist that off, put this back in the fire, and then head the nail. Whoops, slipped right out of there. Okay, you can see what that looks like, and you can see the head of it. It's got like 4 facets on the top, and I'm using the round portion of the hammer, and I'm hitting like this way, this way, this way, and this way to make those facets. It's a little decorative effect, and that's why the header is rounded, so that you don't hit the header with the hammer.